You're about to hear Iran's side of the war directly from the regime. And when I say this, we're referring to the elusive here. Mohammad Marandi. He is the head of English Lit at the University of Tehran. He was also on the nuclear deal. He is, without a doubt, the mouthpiece of the previous supreme leader. That's it. He represents whatever they say. That's what it is. And that's what we encounter for the most part here. But guys, before you take a single word of whatever he is about to say here at face value, we need to break down what's real, what's propaganda, and basically what is missing here. But let's encounter it.
But the Iranians have told tankers that they are not allowed to leave the Strait of Hormuz. And when these Arab regimes in the Persian Gulf, when they give the United States military bases to use against Iran, then there are consequences. They cannot have their cake and eat it too. They cannot participate in aggression against Iran alongside this Epstein coalition and then sit back and say we're neutral.
Right, but you're...
Yeah, that was very conspiracy coded. Let's continue.
And then sit back and say we're neutral.
Right, but you're not denying the other attacks, are you, in other Gulf countries which do affect energy supplies, and the oil price has gone up significantly. So I mean, that does seem to be part of the Iranian military strategy, isn't it? I mean, to try and bring them into the war and regionalize it.
No, Iran has been targeting U.S. assets in the Persian Gulf, and those assets could be anything that's linked to the United States. The United States is bombing hospitals. The United States is bombing schools. The United States is bombing Iranian national radio and television alongside the Israeli regime. So U.S. assets in the Persian Gulf, they too will be attacked. But assets that belong to the states in the Persian Gulf region, they have not been touched by the Iranians. However, if they host U.S. forces, because many of the soldiers have left their bases and been taken to hotels, the Iranians will target them. So at the end of the day, if they want this problem to end, they have to expel soldiers of the Epstein regime.
Now, we understand that...
This is nothing more than just straight conspiracy, guys. I'm listening to this man speak. I'm looking at his body language. You can just tell, like, the overall vitriol, which I do understand here. I mean, you are part of a sovereign nation that is currently kind of in, like, a serious kerfuffle with another sovereign nation. I get it. This is just that, right? But he has always been this. Understand, like, historically, like, make sure you guys look up who this man is, Mohammad Marandi, and you'll understand exactly kind of the angle that I'm taking when I look at him here. Yeah, listen, there have been some absolute mishaps that have happened here, and the White House has basically said, hey, listen, guys, we're looking into it. If something has gone on, then we're looking into it. You get what I'm saying here, guys? But he's just basically blanketing it, but I get it. You know, this is who he is.
Of the Epstein regime.
Now, we understand that the Assembly of Experts is trying to appoint a new supreme leader. Could a new leader, do you think, negotiate with Trump and agree to his terms?
No. Iran is not interested in negotiating with Trump or the US regime. Iran is going to punish the United States, and we are in the process of doing it. This regime in Washington has tried to cross a bridge that's a bridge too far, and they're messing with the wrong country. We're not Venezuela, we're not Iraq, we're not Libya, we're not Afghanistan, and we're not Syria. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we will make sure that the United States regrets the aggression against the Iranian people and the slaughter of children and the slaughter of innocent civilians and the murder of the leader. These are crimes against humanity, and the United States and its allies have imposed the law of the jungle upon the world, and they will come to regret it.
But Iran is not a military superpower either, and we're seeing the vast majority of drones and missiles being shot down by air defenses. I mean, you know, surely Iran cannot win a military war and therefore has to go for some other kind of strategy in coming to a settlement?
Iran will defeat the United States. Time will tell. And our drones that are being fired are very old drones. Our missiles that are being fired are very old missiles. They're very inexpensive. And Americans are using up very expensive air defense systems. The Iranians know exactly what they're doing. We haven't even begun using our latest technology, and most of Iran's underground bases have not even been used yet. They have not even been opened up for operation. The Iranians have been planning for this day ever since the invasion of Iraq. They knew that at some point the Epstein regime will go after Iranians, and therefore they've been preparing themselves for many years. We are fighting for our homeland and our sovereignty and our independence, and our crime is that we oppose the genocide that the British regime and the American regime and Western regimes have been supporting. And we are on the right side of history, and the United States is the aggressor, and we will punish the aggressor and make it regret its crimes against humanity.
What percentage of Iran's missile stocks remain?
The vast majority.
Because after last year's war, it was estimated that Iran had used up around 40% of its missiles. Are you saying that was replenished in the last few months?
Those numbers were always fake. Those numbers are provided by the Israeli regime to the media in order to convince foolish Americans that war against Iran is simple. This war...
Guys, hold on. Listen, I'm not one of those foolish Americans. Like, I knew specifically when it comes down to Iran and Iran's military, specifically within that region, their overall ground forces and other, allies that they have specifically, I knew that Iran was not generally the place that we want to kind of go at directly, because things are going to get super spicy. And generally when it comes down to like a fight, a battle, a war, both sides lose, right? And I know Iran specifically is that place in that region that you absolutely do not really want to play around with. And because all the countries around them basically hate them. Let's just be completely, they're fine with them because they don't really want to mess with them while they've just been building up their army since the 70s, guys. Okay. They are ready for it. That's the reality of the scenario. But I do think that there's going to be something that probably happens that no one on earth actually wants to happen specifically within that region. And there will be some type of, fallout of some sorts, that most likely spreads to some of the other places around, from some type of, device that hits their country. Because how this man is talking right now, I don't think they fully grasp the level of absolute disdain America has for losing. Guys, but I get it. I get the bravado. It makes all the sense in the world because I think anyone would speak like this, right? If this was happening to them, you have to kind of maintain faith. You have to maintain the overall bravado of things. But the type of talk that this man is talking right now is a little bit too spicy for the internet, I think, guys.
Was supposed to end in.
You should have kept this private.
The 12-day war was supposed to bring Iran down like a house of cards. That failed. This failed, and now the United States will have to pay the price. And if the United States escalates, that will mean that the most sensitive region in the world, the Persian Gulf, where a quarter of the world's energy comes from, everything could be destroyed. And if that happens, it doesn't even matter if the Strait of Hormuz is open or closed, because there will be no oil or gas, and there will be no tankers.
Okay, so we're talking about this because they know. Okay, I was just wondering because I was like, bro, you're talking a little bit spicy. It's something's going to happen, but yeah, that will absolutely be the repercussions. So without even saying it, all right, we're both kind of on the same page here. Like you know what we're going to do, right? You're talking too crazy, but while holding legitimately the world's oil as hostage, don't do because if you do something crazy like this, you're going to destroy half the world's oil.
For Iran, this is a fight for survival. For the United States, this is a war of choice. A choice that has been imposed upon the American people by the Epstein class. We will expel the United States from our homeland, and we'll make sure that the United States never again thinks about aggression against our country. And we will not allow the Israeli regime to behave with impunity and to continue genocide against the Palestinian people.
Isn't the truth, though, that a lot of Iranian people want to see this government toppled? We saw tens of thousands taking to the streets just weeks ago, and many thousands of people were killed by the security forces. So public opinion is divided on this.
Don't believe your propaganda. That's silly.
Oh.
Well,
I've already had an interview.
That propaganda.
I've already spoken with your colleague. Though the people who were killed, 3,117 people were killed, hundreds were police officers and people who were patrolling the streets as volunteers, and hundreds of others were ordinary people that were murdered by these militants and these terrorists who were using weapons to kill. In your country, if they kill a single police officer, there'll be outrage. Here they killed hundreds, including the volunteers. So this was no peaceful protest. And you know quite well, because I know you follow these things. In Iran, on February the 12th, we had millions of people on the streets of Tehran and tens of millions across the country rallying against the rioters.
Okay, guys, so I'll do like a super quick fact check because, again, take every single thing that this man says with a grain of salt here, and I mean, like, be careful. All right, so let's see. The number was 1,117 lost their lives. Hundreds of police officers, not peaceful protesters, is what he just stated here, right? Let's see. It matches the overall Iran government-style death toll numbers reported by the AP and PBS. Okay, but the problem is that other reports are saying that the numbers are a lot higher. Okay, and rights groups are estimating it to be nearly 10 times that actual number here. The number could be real for the most part as an official claim, but it's not the full truth and is heavily contested. And the source from that right there is going to come from the AP, Reuters, along with PBS here specifically. They just posted on January 30th, kind of like giving a rebuttal to that specific number there, because there are absolutely issues here, guys. All right, let's continue.
And on February the 11th, on the 47th anniversary of the revolution, we had millions of people again on the streets of Tehran and tens of millions across the country. And as we're speaking, across the country, as we're speaking now, you have millions of people in the streets of Tehran under bombardment, and in other cities under bombardment, commemorating the martyr Ayatollah Khamenei. So you can pretend.
Okay, I got to pause again here. Let's see. Millions in the street under bombardment right now. Tens of millions across the country. That's what he just said here. Okay, hold on. So they are in active bombardment. Millions of people in the street is extraordinary, right? And would be widely corroborated. So understand this here. If that type of thing was actually, like, in fact happening, okay, that would be everywhere. It's not. It's nowhere. What are you talking about, bro? Like, I mean, I watch the news all day long, bro. I'm like a news nerd, okay? That's not a thing here. And also the fact check right here just basically said that he's lying. Basically, they're saying they're rating it as the statement here, unreliable or rhetorically rigged, if that makes any sense here, guys, right? That's a false claim, but let's continue.
All you want, that Iranians want their country to be bombed. But at the end of the day, your policymakers, by believing their own propaganda, are going to hit their head once again against a brick wall. But this time, the price will be very high, and I think it will bring about a change in global politics.
I'm not denying that huge numbers of people have come out in support of the government, but from your own account of the way people have been killed and were fighting in the streets effectively, you know, the country is clearly divided to some degree, and there are many people who do not support the government. And but I wonder, you know, often in wartime, public opinion changes, and the acts of an outside aggressor can change public opinion. And I just wonder whether you think that might happen in Iran.
No, the strong majority of Iranians, even according to polls taken by the University of Maryland, for example, in the past, I don't know if they still carry out polls, but it shows that the strong majority of Iranians support the Constitution. And now that the United States is murdering Iranians, many of those youngsters who are on the streets, who believe the fake Western narratives about human rights and dignity and freedom, are watching children being slaughtered and Western media is ignoring it, and Western governments are not even apologizing for it. And the British and the German regime, the German chancellor says there must be regime change in Iran. The German chancellor must first apologize to the people of Iran for giving Saddam Hussein chemical weapons to use against us that killed so many thousands of people. The German regime has no credibility and is in no position to talk about Iran. And the divisions that exist right now in your country and the United States are far greater than the divisions that exist in Iran. The people of Iran are united, and we will see that the United States will fail, and the United States will pay a heavy price. And ultimately, the emperor, people will see that the emperor has no clothes. The United States bullies country after country. It strangles Cuba. It takes the people of Venezuela hostage. It imposes Al-Qaeda rule on the people of Syria. Iran was a bridge too far. Iran will show the Americans that they're messing with the wrong country.
What about the competence, though, of your security apparatus? I mean, after the killing of the Ayatollah with so many senior figures, we have now seen that, again, the clerics have met in the Assembly of Experts building in Qom, and that has also been bombed. I mean, does it not strike you as very odd that senior Iranian figures are still meeting in known places where they can be targeted?
No, no one was in that building. Why do you believe this nonsense? And
okay, that claim specifically is not verified in public reporting, and like at all. They're not verified. They're not publicly reported like that, and it just feels like spin, like legitimately. And this is going to be this is from The Guardian as a quick fact check. I'm transcribing and fact checking at the same time, guys.
Senior military figures, except for in the office of the leader, a number of people who were killed, no one else was killed. And Ayatollah Khamenei said that I'm going to remain in my house because many people who are struggling cannot leave their homes. And I will stay
guys, they're spinning it like damage control
here till the end because of these people. And he stayed and he was martyred. That's not something that your leader would ever do. But in any case, we are seeing the Iranian armed forces effectively pushing back against this sinister superpower of our time and against this genocidal Zionist regime that continues to slaughter people in Gaza, in Palestine, and in Lebanon. Simultaneously, they're waging a war, and Iran is pushing them back. At the same time, we see that the government, despite the maximum pressure sanctions, we see that people have food, that there are no queues. So that is pretty significant, I must say. And your government, which has no sanctions and has no war, the regime in London is not proving to be very efficient nor very popular.
Just finally, I mean, the United States president and the Israeli prime minister killed the Iranian supreme leader. Will it now be the aim of the Iranian military and all its networks around the world to take their revenge on those individuals?
What the United States did was a crime against humanity. What it is doing is a crime against humanity. We have no expectations from the West, nor the Western media. Western elites for us are a bunch of worthless barbarians. Iranians will protect themselves. I do not know what Iran will do or its allies will do across the world, but the entire world is sick and tired of the way in which the United States and its proxies in Europe behave. It's a rogue regime. As we speak, they are strangling the people of Cuba. They're preventing food from getting in. I don't see any outrage in the Western media. Why? Because the Western media is just as worthless as Western elites.
We'll leave it there. Mohammad Marandi, thank you very much indeed.
Bro.
Thank you.
Oh, God, guys, that's a lot. That was a lot. Okay, I get it. He hates us, right? But I understand. Look at what's happening. But I think this hatred was definitely from before. This feels like heavily, like deeply ingrained. It almost makes me think that the majority of the anti-American sentiment that is around the planet has basically been curated by people like him. and spread in other places. Okay. A lot of what he said cannot be confirmed. Okay. A lot of it. But then some of it is not absolutely wrong here, guys, right? I mean, there have been things that have absolutely happened. I mean, generally the things that we have already all known. The supreme leader is gone, right? We know this here. The Iran has basically blocked the passage through the Strait of Hormuz. That is a true statement here, and they are definitely using their older stuff first. That has also been confirmed. Okay. And yes, we are absolutely utilizing really expensive things to stop their old things. But what they don't understand is that we have a lot more of the new things. Okay. But I guess either way, guys, let's see. But yeah, guys, that's what's happening here. And yeah, there is more Iranian infrastructure underneath the ground that they haven't touched yet, basically. They have a gigantic amount of missile cities, they're calling them here, guys. Okay, but the rest of it is basically nonsense. It is nothing more than propaganda. They're trying to spin things. And this is me not trying to be specifically biased here, but that is just, when I saw his name pop up and you guys sent me this video to check out, I was just like, oh no, not this guy, bro. Not this, because guys, he's a spin artist, bro. Okay, that's it here. There's nothing more than that. He's a spin artist. He's trying to make things look as good as humanly possible without actually coming with any type of, I don't know, grit or merit, bro. I mean, I get it. He's someone in his country. But when you peel back kind of the onion, again, Google Mohammad Marandi, okay, the University of Tehran. Google him, check him out. You'll see exactly what I'm saying here. I'm not trying to be like super biased here. I'm just blatantly telling you, be careful listening to this man, because almost none of it is true, right? Like, he's the reason why some of the nonsense was spread. And most of the stuff that Iran was basically doing when the supreme leader was alive was, for the most part, spread by mouth by him. Okay. This is the propagandist of the entire country. Okay. So, be careful. But if this is the overall sentiment, then things are going to get worse. Things are going to get worse. Period. But listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.